There's more sketchy shit out there right on the road right now. Like, Christ, I'd drive this.
Don't look at my car.
Three bolts in the whole goddamn thing and a vice grip on here. And I trust that.
So in this episode, we're going to try and get the bell housing modified enough that the transmission modified enough we can put them together, and then finish them up, but just get them kind of placed for now.
Yeah, see if it'll work at least.
This is the stand we built, and as you can see, we're using it for exactly how it's supposed to be used. But anyway, let's get going.
Okay, so Corvette 6-speed. This bell housing is for like a GM style T56 to bolt to the Hemi. I need to figure out a way to bolt this onto this without making this any longer.
Okay, well, first thing I'd do
I'll have to
is...
find center on it, obviously.
Oh, yeah, that might be the bitch.
Because then we're kind of screwed on this hole in like my top left. It's just out in no man's land. The other ones I can kind of do. I'm going to tap them.
Okay,
So I got two holes that are screwy.
this is pretty much all I would do is... have you had anything to do with RW lately?
No.
Because I would just get them to flies out this, well, your actual bolt hole pattern on that, and then stick it on this, time it, clock it, center it.
We were also talking about maybe cutting this flange off, because it doesn't need to be SFI approved because we're not putting slicks on. Cutting this flange off and getting Dean to make us a new flange too, and then welding it on, and then getting it milled.
Because now I just have to think about.
We have to make sure the stick out is good before we finish anything anyway. So we have to get his other 5.7 here with the flywheel on it.
So now, what about this? Because I got to thinking as well, we'll probably have Dean cut us a big chunk of round that fits in here nice, and the ID fits on this nice, just because I assume this is centered to the Hemi.
A bushing.
Like all it is just for lining up purposes, it's not going to stay in there.
Yeah.
And I want to do that, and then get this figured out, and I can clock it wherever I need. And then I wonder if I drilled the 3 holes out on the right-hand side of the transmission and tapped them. Now for these, say it sits like this. How strong is it if you have a plate bolted to the side here that has steps out that this bolts onto? Like I would
So I mean, you look at an old 4-speed, it was only 4 bolts.
You're not doing 1,000 horsepower.
Exactly, I'm not going up to the 9.
This is going to be like a 600 horse tops once he
Yeah.
gets the supercharger on it. So
Yeah, so I figured that'd be fine. And it's going into the Firebird too, which will probably be close to the same weight, if not a little lighter.
I would start out, personally, as quick and dirty, get it working, and then
do the fine tuning after.
And, okay, this is...
But if we had a bushing made, we could weld the bushing in. Because it's going to be a circle into a circle.
Yeah. But the only reason, like I say, the bushing, all I want it for is just to find center. And that is as long as, once I get a dial indicator over here and throw that on the Hemi, as long as that hole is actually centered to the flywheel.
Right. Which it should be.
Yeah, I assume so, but I don't know. Then probably have to get some dowels made up so I can line up this transmission so it all sits nice and copacetic.
Some people would say it's the wrong transmission. I say it's the right one because we have it.
What is the stick out actually like here? We're actually pretty much right there, and that stick out, like that's the problem. If I step this out more, this ain't going into any bushing on the flywheel. We're screwed. It's pretty much, that is the length it's got to be.
Yeah, I'd just, like you say, quick and dirty.
But yeah, there's our plan at least.
Yeah, I'd say that'd work.
Yeah, because I reckon so, but I was like, you know what, I'll get a more professional opinion on that one.
And there's also nothing saying we can't weld tabs onto it because we're still using some bolts.
Yeah, like you just do a tab off there. I don't see the problem.
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident, like, Christ, some JB weld.
Well, you know, like, honestly, I'm not going to lie, that probably sadly would work because we have seen, coming into my dad's shop, this guy, he comes in and he's like, I got this weird clunk, like, going on, whatever, but I've been driving for a while, I didn't really care. We got under there. What the hell was it? 3 out of the 5 transmission bell housing bolts were missing, and the other 2 were loose. Like, that transmission, you could grab it, but it ran and drove. So clearly, this will probably be fine.
You're not jumping it?
No.
You're not flexing the frame off of like boulders 8 feet in the air? Okay, yeah.
No, not
just
trying.
Just go with that then.
the bolts go into the oil? No. Because there's one new LTs.
On the LTs they do, yeah, but not on this. Look at that. Maybe a fucking better spot to mount this one. Yeah, a little better. Let's do it here.
Okay, Stephen, what do we got going on now? You got your table all made, the engine mounted on it?
Yeah, got the engine mounted. I figured out that this hole is roughly centered to the crank shaft. And so right now, we're making a spacer to go fit over top of this. And we'll also sit inside of this to get us pretty close to centered.
Okay, and we're making the spacer, why?
Well, because to make sure that I'm centered up with the pilot bearing and everything when I get this all done, so I can make up the flange to mount this 6-speed.
Okay, so it's just for mocking.
Yeah, just for mock-up purpose.
Okay.
So we would love to do it out of metal, but we don't have a lathe and we don't want to wait for the machinist to open up. So I have a wood router here, and with a little bit of ingenuity, I think we can make something work.
Okay, so what are you fabbed up here now?
So here's what we came up with. Just a chunk of scrap plywood. There's actually both of these. One to make a router base on, which we have measured out from the center hole of the router where it cut through to 2 points on here, and that'll give us our outer ring as well as our cut out the inner ring. It should be close. I guess we'll find out.
Okay, so that's your outer ring, but you didn't punch all the way through. Why?
No, mostly because of the router, I had the bit at the wrong height to be able to punch all the way through.
You can't get deep enough?
Well, I probably could if I set it up right, but I didn't.
Okay.
But honestly, I'm not too concerned because this will help us cut the inner circle a little nicer.
I'll give you a hand setting this up for the next one.
Oh, look at that crisp cut. Maybe not. Okay, good enough. Let's set her down. Thank God for wood tools, man.
Yeah. Alright, so what do you got?
We have a ring that I have a feeling is actually the wrong size, and I screwed up completely, but we'll find out. Okay, so actually that was close.
Pretty close, but your measurements, you were going to the center of the hole instead of the outer edge.
I need to go to the outer edge. So, yeah, that's off by like a ton. I don't know how I did that.
Me either.
But either way, we know-ish what we're doing now.
Because we went to the inside of the router bit, and that's the whole bit width.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to...
All right, take two.
Take two.
All right, version 2.0, Stephen.
Needs a little bit of sanding.
Perfect, it's a little too big.
It's fine.
And hopefully it's, how is our measurement that far off?
How are we still screwing this one up? Again, we're kind of relying on the accuracy of this thing, which
I think it's pretty good.
who really knows. Well, it tells me we are 0.1 degree rocked up.
0.1.
Yeah, so like,
Is that acceptable for you, bud?
close enough for the amount of frags I get.
Always has been a
No, we're actually, yeah, we're still, no, it needs to be on the side.
I'm just putting this here so it's a little less teetery.
Like that
If it
is,
does teeter, it's not going to go far.
I'm pretty impressed. Once the side to side was like, side to side, we're down by 0.3 on the left hand side here.
Well, that's pretty close to acceptable for me.
Oh, you just knocked it. It's perfectly zero now. Okay, you know what? This thing might just be the biggest gimmick, and it's just like telling us some totally wrong numbers. But screw it, I'm going with it.
Hey, I fully support its decisions.
Alrighty, guys. So, we're gonna get this transmission, hopefully the last drop of oil out of it, and then start getting her mocked up on there and get things figured out. Just wanted the main majority of that crap out of there for flipping this thing up on its nose because there's leak everywhere. Okay, so right there, right at the end of the crank is on these Hemis where the old pilot bearing sits. This is not the proper pilot bearing at all, but this is the right ID to fit the shaft of this transmission as well as the exact same as your regular pilot bearings get for these Dodges.
That's a factory one for 256 on an LS.
There you go, that's what it's for. So, it's apparently a factory for a
T56 on
For a T56 on an LS engine. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some electrical tape because it'll be close enough to get centered, just so it will actually hold itself in here. And then I can continue on, just get the bell housing on, flip the transmission on its nose, line it up with this, and do a little bit of tweaking, and that'll get me to a point where the transmission is within a couple thou of being in line with the crankshaft.
How much needle is it taking?
Well, I'm thinking it's about 10 wraps. Because 8 was getting snug and 10 is beauty. Okay, so for anyone watching this video wanting to know how many times you wrap electrical tape around your LS pilot bearing to fit inside your 5.7 Hemi crank or probably any other Hemi like that.
Mock-up purposes
10 wraps.
only.
Oh yes, mock-up purposes only, I swear. Have fun. Hey, it's going in.
There you go.
Would you look at that? Okay, so now we hit the fun issue of, is it actually going to be level like that and like that? And to which I respond, it's good enough. So there we go, guys. Now I'm going to put the bell housing on and deal with getting this transmission slammed into place.
See if we can't wreck something.
Alrighty, what you want, front or back?
We each take a side.
That's gonna be friggin' awkward. For you. Okay.
Stand up. Maybe. I'm grabbing the solenoid. I can use.
You're gonna like damn your bear into this bastard. Let's see.
It's just rolling the hand racing there. Just sitting there moving, we gotta lift up. There we go. There you go. Not just that rubber.
Now,
Now you want your shifter.
you're not sitting flat here. What's going on?
That
Oh! I got it.
Where you gotta clearance your bellows.
Is that actually rubber or is that steel?
No, it's rubber. You still gotta do it though.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
I guess I might as well.
ZF 6-speed.
Probably mark where this thing kind of sits.
Right here.
Well, I gotta pull this transmission off again then so I can clearance that out.
We gotta kind of straighten this though.
Oh, yeah. Gotta figure out.
Figure straight is straight.
This bottom should be theoretically right where this notch is.
No. Look at the bottom of your block compared to that notch.
Okay, so that angle looks set offset.
Right there.
About there.
That's is that too far, I think.
I don't know. It's hard to say because that's
Here, let me.
flat.
You stand on the front side.
Flats in the bottom. This transmission is really.
Right there.
Close enough for these.
Pretty close.
Amount of
So
frames
there's
I
one
can
you
give.
can mark some of these holes. We'll have to do something with that one. We can get this one. We'll have to do something here. And
Have to
here.
do something here.
These two, we can probably weld the stud in.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think put a stud in.
Yep.
So we'll mark them.
Do we don't have any transfer punches, do we? I mean, that would be nice, but.
You know.
Okay, so where be your hole punch set?
We might as well just peel this SFI sticker off right now.
Oh, no, I'll leave it on there. It's there for me to go. Like, especially.
It's
the
expired
fact,
anyway.
well, especially for the fact it got torched. When I was like, I'm putting this, like, got kind of hot. got the holes, these 2 holes at least that we're using for the time being, drilled. I'm gonna tap them out. This is not gonna be the finishing tap. It's all we got. Don't have one of those bottoming taps here. So this will just work for what we're doing now though. Now let's get it relatively straight, you know. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, anytime. That's about as far down as I can go on this one.
How's it look?
Well, I don't know. Huh, it looks like threads. They almost don't look like the strongest of threads.
Well,
I guess, according to the freaking thing, it was right.
tap chart, yeah.
No. Oh, let's clean that hole a little bit. Some of that schmoo sprayed in there.
Wreck your drill bit.
Heck yeah.
Or your pilot bit.
Oh, the pilot bit surprised the hell out of me. I was destroying it.
You're crooked as hell. By the way.
Which was the tap?
Yeah. Leaning hard anyway.
And the other one's probably crooked as well. All you gotta do is pray the hole's drilled straight and it'll bring itself around.
We have half-inch bolts.
I doubt by fine. So I mean, honestly, I might just run back down to Cambodian tire and.
Okay.
Now this is the one. Oh, I still got a bit more I can do. But this one, I know I won't be able to go too deep on.
There's another one.
That's it. That's as far as I can go on that. Yeah, there's threads. I don't know, let's just look. Well, maybe they're fine. They just don't look that strong. How many steps down from half is that? It's only 3 steps. Alrighty, so I got a couple holes drilled, clearanced out the bell housing where the one stupid cap, or bearing cap in this transmission is. And we're gonna try to stab it again, see if these 2 bolts actually line up, hopefully. And mark the 3rd bolt, pull this all off again, drill it, tap it, and then throw it back on and figure out how to do the remaining 2 holes. So, I guess let's get at it. Like that?
I'm gonna bring you guys in and show you here. If you have a look here, you can see there's plenty of meat here for this one and that one. It's not much that that mount is shy. This one is like a 1/4 of a hole away.
Way out to lunch.
We're gonna drill and tap this one yet, but
There's really no point in running these bolts in.
yeah, we're just gonna mark that one and get that one drilled so we at least have 3 bolts holding it. Then we're gonna bring the engine stand back and we'll stand this back up on top of our table again. Ooh, look at those threads.
Nice.
That one threads a little nicer than the others did.
Yeah, I don't bottom out into the side of the bell.
All right, so as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 out of the 5 holes drilled and tapped. Now we're gonna set this transmission up here again.
Nope. Gotta clearance this first.
What has to be clearance there?
Gotta notch it out because I can't have any material from this showing that bolt hole.
Okay, apparently, I've just been informed by Steven he's got a little more notching to do here. And then after he's got the 2 spots notched, we're going to set the transmission back up, and then we'll start building the mount for the back of it, and then we can make a bracing onto our stand for it. All right, Steven, what do we got here?
Alrighty, so we're gonna make ourselves a custom trans mount. We got this unit. I don't know where the hell I got it from.
I gave it to you. It's energy suspension.
No, you didn't give me this one. This is one I bought with that suspension kit for the Firebird.
Oh, anyway, it's an energy suspension transmission mount, and it comes with the mount and this base plate. So we got this base plate through one of these holes on this side where that ladder arm, whatever they call it on those C4 Corvettes would have been. And then there's actually 2 holes on the side here where we got these 2 bolts and this little chunk of plate. And this would have been, I assume, for a different shifter.
More than likely.
I mean, it's a ZF transmission. It was probably used in 100 different things. But anyway, we made this little metal plate, and Steven's just going to get this tacked. Then we'll pull this off, and he'll get her all welded up, and we'll throw it back on, and then we'll build a brace from the piping over to our mount so that it holds everything kind of where it needs to be, and then we can set this back down on the table. Nice thing about working here now and that the lights are, or that the sun's going down, is we can actually see in this corner.
You can actually film something.
No lens flare, no bright spots, just all dark now.
There we go, that's exactly what we want.
Probably shouldn't breathe that zinc coating in, by the way,
Well, this is probably true.
because it'll only kill us. That's good enough. You got it tacked.
I've only got one back over.
Oh. All right, we'll reconvene once he's ready to weld the whole thing on the bench. Steven, what's that you got there?
Got a nice, cheap little vise from our local Newfie Speed and Sports store. Hopefully it works decent for the welding bay.
Throw these ones in.
Holy titty snacks, it almost looks like it fits. Ha! Think god dang beauty.
Gall dang. There we go. One tranny mount. Now we gotta build this piece here, and we'll have her. All right, we're just gonna get this mount we just got fabbed up out of a spare chunk of the box tubing when we built the framing. And I think this was a bracket from the water pump on the 360.
Water pump or power steering pump, one of the two.
All right. And that's nice and wet because we just cooled it off in the snow, so
Let's give her a whirl.
all right, let's see if we can kill me.
No, don't worry, I'll try her.
I know you will.
Grab that and go that way. Just pull it over. Just get out.
Just go to the other side.
There we go. Okay, now it's gonna crack back up.
It will. You gotta hold the train. Just hold back as I want to. Perfect. We're like geniuses.
Sometimes even my own genius amazes me. So, there we go. 6 speed and a Hemi. We're good to go.
It's basically a go-kart now.
Ready to rock and roll.
But there we have it. The bell housing needs a little more work. We still got those 2 tabs that need to be modified on the side of the bell housing for the last 2 bolts. But not bad for an evening's work, eh?
Yeah, aside from that, it's pretty good.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. It's at BarkleyBuilt. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe as you feel necessary. And thanks for watching.
Have a good day.